Mr. Humphreys, are you free?
I'm free.
Forward, please.
Mind the door.
What are you being served, sir? I'm Humphreys, and I'm free. Are you being served, sir? What would you like to see? If you'd like some swimming trunks, we've got them plain or spotty. We've also got some see-through that really tan your...
Beachwear.
Oh, these are gay. There's plenty round the back. And if you'd like a bit of flash, then try a plastic Mac.
What are you being served, sir?
I'm Humphreys, and I'm free.
Are you being served, sir?
What would you like to see?
Well, come along, Mrs. Crawford. It's nearly 9 o'clock.
If you was a gentleman, you'd see I'd got my arm stuck and you'd give me a hand.
Mr. Randall, are you free?
We are not open until 9, Captain Wagstaff. Until then, I am definitely not free.
How would you like to do some stock-taking after we close?
How free can you be?
Well, it seems that Mrs. Crawford is stuck in her coat. Would you please assist her?
Very good, sir.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Randall. I think it's caught on me chunky bracelet.
More likely to be caught on your chunky arm. There we go. Will there be anything else?
Yes. Who's going to pay for this? It's solid silk.
The Bone Brothers are only responsible for accidents that occur during working hours. And according to my watch, we open in 21 seconds precisely.
If I could get back on, Mrs. Crawford, I'll try again in 30 seconds.
You get out of my area before I do something that you'll regret.
Well, where's Mr. Humphreys? He's never late.
It's a relief to know he's not perfect.
He's a lot more perfect than any of you. He's probably got fed up and gone home to England.
Sorry I'm nearly late, Captain Wagstaff. I got left in a chauffeur-driven car. And when I got out, I was molested.
This is disgraceful. Did you get the number?
I did.
Did you have a good look at your attacker?
I did.
And would you recognize him again if you saw him?
Oh, I would.
Well, I feel it's my duty to call the police. It's disgraceful that young girls can't travel alone without being subjected to this sort of peril. You'll have my full support in this matter.
Thank you, Captain Wagstaff.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Mr. Bone. Mr. Bone, something very serious has come up, and I'd like your permission to contact the police.
Well, before you tell me, Wagstaff, I just stopped off to give that young lady over there her umbrella back. She left it in my car.
That is very good of you, sir.
Now, what did you say about going to the police?
Yes, please, yes. Well, it was to ask them if they'd found this umbrella, sir. They're very expensive, and Miss Nichols was upset about losing it.
She'd be upset about losing anything. Well, carry on, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Bone.
One law for the rich and one for the poor.
You was probably being provocative.
I was not. Hey, what's this?
That's his gold watch and chain. Oh, Miss Nichols, how could you?
I didn't take it. Must have dropped off him when he eventually leaned across to open up the door. Oh, I've got a good mind to keep it.
Miss Nichols, we don't want to think that you're a good time girl. Yes, I'll return this.
Gangway! Gangway! Special delivery for the men's department.
Mr. Cocker, you are not allowed on the floor after 9 o'clock.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll save up and buy a hot air balloon so I can float across it. Alternatively, I could study under Uri Geller to improve my powers of concentration to a point where I could lift it by levitation. Of course, if I was to do that, you wouldn't be able to shout at me. Otherwise, I might relax my concentration and it'll drop on your head.
I shall ignore your attempts to be insolent.
If you're ignoring me, why is a little vein standing out in your neck? And there's a little thing going in and out in your forehead.
Get off the floor, Mr. Cocker. I shan't speak to you again.
Oh, shall I get off the floor with the note that came with this still in my pocket? You're holding your hand out. Does that mean you want the note? Perhaps you'd like me to read it to you. Give me the note! You spoke. I'm glad to see we're friends again.
Oh, it's a cargo note from the docks. It reads, very fragile. I can't make out the signature.
You'll let me. My eyes are younger. From Mr. Humphreys.
Oh, what would Mr. Humphreys be sending us very fragile?
We'll soon see. Right.
transport delivery had a puncture.
Have you been to a fancy dress party?
No, I've been to quite an ordinary party on a British ship. Well, as ordinary as it could be. Do you know, I had several Drambuie shandies, so I thought, well, I'll have a walk round the ship to sober myself up. See, well, when I got on deck, I realised we were out at sea.
Oh, how terrible. Oh, what did you do? How did you get off?
There was a tug pulling us out, you see, so I slid down this rope over this raging sea and I threw myself on the deck.
Oh, that was brave of you.
Yes, it
It
was.
was indeed, when you're playing strip poker with 6 big stokers. You're about to put everything you've got between you and decency on a jack and 2 tens. Then you find out that somebody's holding a pair of queens. Well, you don't stop to think.
Mr. Humphreys, I still don't understand what actually happened to your clothes.
Well, I thought I'd explain that. I was trying to win them back. Isn't it strange to think that somewhere on the high seas there's a very well-dressed stoker shoveling coke into a boiler?
The more we get to know you, Mr. Humphreys, the less amazing it seems. You are, after all, quite an unusual person.
It has been mentioned.
And for that reason, it has been decided at management level to offer you a very special job, which requires your special talents.
I'm all agog.
Young Mr. Byrne has decided that the store should have its very own magazine. You know, the sort of thing, gossip, tidbits, who's who.
Or who's what?
You always seem to be well up with the gossip, and you mix freely with people.
Yes, what you say does have a ring of truth to it.
So, we're offering you the editorship.
Is there any more money in it?
Think of the prestige.
There isn't any more money.
But your name will be up there in print.
Well, I hope it's going to be bigger than that.
What are we going to call the magazine, sir? Oh, yes, the board came up with 1 or 2 rather good ideas. Now, one of them was what's on in the store, and the other one was what's up in the store.
Well, if my name's going to be on it, I think what's up has a nice ring.
Well, you're in charge, Mr. Humphreys. Oh, and by the way, the services of the photographic department will be at your disposal should you need a photograph of any member of the staff together with the story. That, of course, does include management.
Which is your best side, Mr. Finn? Of course, how silly of me.
That's all. Remember, it's an in-store thing. Nothing too serious, nothing controversial. Just keep it all light and gay.
I'll keep it as light as possible.
And I'd have a photo of young Mr. Bone on the front page of the first issue. You know, a youthful pose. He'd like that.
It's not going to be easy, but I suppose I could touch him up afterwards. Now, have you decided which girl's going to sit on your knee, Mr. Bone?
It's very hard to decide. I've been awake all morning thinking about it.
This is going to make a splendid front page cover. It'll show behind that firm exterior that you have a sense of fun.
At my age, I'm lucky to have a sense of anything.
Well, who is it to be, Mr. Byrne?
Stop trying to sway my opinion and come and sit on my knee.
Oh, yes, very informal. Excuse me. Perhaps you'd like to show a bit of, who you are doing.
Not too much, or we won't get any work done in the packing department.
What about me, Mr. Byrne? You promised you'd put me in it.
Did I? I must be getting reckless in my old age.
I won't put all my weight there.
I'm glad to hear that.
I can't see very much of you, Mr. Byrne. As a matter of fact, I can't see anything at all.
That's funny. I can see a lot from where I am.
Girls, could you lean back so that I can see our founder?
Hurry up. The blood stopped in my leg.
Lots of movement with the hair, girls. Toss your heads back like that.
Come on, get on with it.
Right, look this way.
Is my tie straight?
Yes, that's fine. Now, lots of teeth, those that have got them.
What is it, Mr.
Oh,
Byrne?
my leg's gone to sleep. You have to get off.
Well, now, this won't take a second. It's all automatic. In 5 seconds, we'll have a lovely picture. 5, 4, 3, 2...
Morning,
Well, you're determined to get on, aren't you, Mr. Humphrey?
I've explained how that happened. Now, these are all the others, and that's the one I'm going to use.
He has a good time up there. I only hope I'm lucky enough to have a young girl to sit on my knee when I'm his age.
Oh, as a matter of fact, the older I get, the more I find that young girls seem to appreciate charm and maturity.
Oh, you mean Miss Hurst in Novelty Toys?
You too?
Oh, just a smile in the lift. But it's all there in the eyes. If ever there's a fire, she'll be the first one I shall rescue.
Oh, you men do make me laugh. Don't you realise the girls only do this to humour him?
And because he's rich.
Do you mean to say, Miss Nichols, that you wouldn't sit on an old man's knee and put your arm around him for $1,000? The truth now.
Well, I suppose so.
Would you do it for $1?
Certainly not. What do you think I am?
Well, that's pretty obvious. It's a question of how much.
Well, you'd certainly have to pay me to sit on your knee.
Plenty of girls fall for me.
No, what do you have to do? Hit them with a club.
One up to you, Miss Nichols. And I'll tell you this, he'd have to pay me to sit on his knee as well.
I'd be quite happy to pay you, Mrs. Crawford, not to.
Don't you be cheeky to senior staff.
What are you writing there, Mr. Humphreys?
It's for the magazine. The continual battle of the sexes rages on unabated on the first floor. Will young Mr. Randall ever succeed in his endeavours to make Miss Nichols fall for his macho charm? Their love-hate relationship reached a new climax in the canteen today when she suggested payment for her favours.
Oh, how dare you! I never said that.
Oh, Mr. Humphreys, how could you?
Well, people like this sort of thing. It's up to me to make it interesting.
Yes, Mr. Humphreys is quite right. I think you're both overreacting. This isn't a serious magazine. It's just what's going on in the store. Titbits, bits of gossip, who's doing well, all very harmless.
Oh, I suppose you're right. Will you be taking a copy of the magazine home, Captain Wagstaff?
Well, I see no reason why not. My wife's always very interested in what's going on here.
Oh, well, she'll like this bit. It's headed Femme Fatale in the Novelty Department. It has come to our editor's notice that Miss B. Hurst, Novelties, has 2 senior members of the staff in quite a tiz. Competing for her favours are Mr. S. Mankiewicz, the senior citizen of menswear, and the flirtatious floor walker, Captain Wagstaff, whose conduct at the last Christmas party resulted in him being banned from knitwear for 3 months.
Give me! How dare you, Mr. Humphreys? What have my wife got hold of this?
Don't you think you're overreacting?
Oh, shut up! Mr. Humphreys, I can make life very difficult for you on the floor, and so can everybody else.
I don't want to upset anybody, I'm sure. But we read things like that in the paper every day. Well, I do.
Yes, but it's about other people.
If my wife thought I'd ever looked at another woman, she'd leave me tomorrow. On second thoughts, publish and be damned.
Mr. Humphreys will publish what we tell him he can publish.
Have you ever heard of the freedom of the press?
Have you ever heard of the dole?
Well, what do you want me to post?
Why don't you use the magazine to air our grievances? The pay rise they promised us that never came through.
Yes, we're working for peanuts.
$500 bonus for the department. What happened to that?
They said we didn't reach our target.
They never said what the target was.
They diddled us out of it, that's what they did. Oh, I could have done with that cash.
Yes, you see, that's the sort of crusade you should concentrate on and forget all this idle gossip.
Hey, did you hear the latest about that new Sheila in Novelties, Miss Hurst?
I don't wish to know.
A department manager has found out why she's been spending so much time away from her counter.
I'm sure we're not interested.
And who she's been kissing by the fire exit.
I don't wish to know. I've got my fingers in my ears.
Mr. Grover of Bedding.
How could she?
Grover? He's my age.
Put all that information down, Mr. Humphreys. It's disgraceful. She must be exposed.
From what I hear, it's too late for that.
No, you didn't want gossip.
Oh, not if it's us. But this is other people's gossip.
Funny thing, the freedom of the press.
Menswear. It's for you, Mr. Humphreys.
Thank you, sir.
News for the magazine.
City desk, Splash Humphreys speaking. Well, you've got some news. Oh, good. Yes? Mr. Jacoby of Stationery beat Mrs. Cook of Accounts. Really? And it took an hour. Oh, it's table tennis. Yes? 21-12. Yes, 921, 1921, 2119. Thank you. What a piece of useless information. You know, only a few minutes ago, a fellow called Renshaw phoned me. Said he was confined to bed with housemaid's knee. I mean, I can't even remember what it looks like.
Renshaw. Isn't he that young blonde-haired boy who always has the hanky hanging out of his cuff and smells of eau de cologne and aftershave?
Oh, is that Mr. Renshaw? I must send him some flowers.
Mr. Humphreys, that phone has been going all day. Isn't it time you did some work?
Well, I can't help it if people keep ringing me up.
Well, have you written the editorial yet complaining about the bonus we didn't get?
No, I don't think Mr. Bone would like that.
Well, if you don't, you're not going to be very popular with us, is he, Mr. Baggery? Very unpopular, I would say.
Well, with all these phone calls, I haven't had time to think.
Mems, more news for the desk.
I'll take that. Mr. Humphreys has more to do than keep listening to idle pieces of gossip from people with nothing better to do than sit on their backsides all day. Who? Mr. Bone. Do you know who this is? Good.
Humphreys? Oh, yes, sir. It's him again.
No, don't say it was me. No.
Hello, sir? No, I can't understand it. You must have got through to another department. Yes, it is a bad line. Can you hear me? Oh, you've got some news. Good. You took her out of the water and had a good look at her bottom. Would you like me to take a photograph of the barnacle? Anybody we know? Oh, I see, it's your boat, yes. And you're going to have her painted in black and white. Oh, nice. We'll do a colour supplement. And you're going to spend $50,000. Oh, sir, the staff will be delighted to hear that. Thank you, sir. Bye.
Diddling our bonus and then spending it all on a facelift for a boat's bottom. Outrageous.
Criminal.
What are you going to do about it, Mr. Editor?
Well, it's very controversial, and Mr. Fenwick said nothing controversial.
All that old idiot cares about is birds and boats.
And getting the birds on the boats.
I've got how to get the bonus for our floor.
Shoot, Splash.
I shall announce a beauty competition, and the winner will get $500 and a trip on Mr. Bone's boat.
Well, how will that help us?
Well, Miss Nichols is the best-looking girl in the whole store, and she works for our floor. She's bound to win.
Well, why should she share the money with us? Because a share of 500 is better than nothing at all.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think we should delay the news about the trip on the boat as long as possible.
Yes. Now, when we close, I'll take some photographs of all the contestants. You know the sort I think I mean. Running shorts, tennis outfits, swimming costumes.
Any topless?
Mr. Randall, we're trying to get the bonus from Mr. Bone, not kill him. All right, Mr. Randall?
No worries, Wilberforce.
Well, I'm off. Mrs. Wagstaff's got a bridge party arranged. I've got to get off to the Chinese takeaway. It's my turn to cook dinner tonight. Good night, Miss Humphreys.
Right, I'm ready for you, Miss Nichols.
I'm coming.
There'll probably be a long queue. Yes, the bridge party never starts on time.
All right.
All right with me.
I've already told you I think it's a size too small.
Right, then, now get that umbrella and put it over your shoulder and twirl it or something.
It's stuck.
We'll try again.
I feel like King Arthur trying to get the sword out of the stone.
King Arthur looked like that. No wonder he had such wonderful knights.
Give it a really good tug.
Oh!
What's the matter?
Oh, no!
What is it?
I've done me back in. I can't stand up.
Get a chair, Mr. Randall.
Oh, it's gone before you know. It's all your fault, Mr. Humphrey.
Well, I didn't know you'd got a bad back.
Look, we can't send a photo of her in like this.
Well, when you had it before, how long did it last?
6 weeks in bed, flat on me back.
If I'd have known that, I would have come and visited.
What are we going to do about the prize money? Oh, you and your bright ideas.
I shouldn't worry, Mrs. Crawford. I'm sure Mr. Humphreys will come up with something. If he knows what's good for him.
Welcome to the Bone Brothers Battle of the Beauties. And now, here is your compere for tonight, Bubbling Barry Randall. Now it's over to our judges.
This is almost as exciting as when my pussy won first prize.
When was that?
Last year. Oh, she got a blue ribbon for presentation, and when she played dead, she got a round of applause.
I won a prize once.
What for?
My bride arrangements.
The time we've all been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen. The winner is... come on down, Mr. Lawrence Willis!
You've definitely got the best legs, my friend. Here we are. There now. Oh, you've got such a cheeky smile, too. Yes, we've all agreed you've got outstanding attributes. There you are, there's your off. Honey, I haven't seen you before.
I'm new, sir.
It gives me great pleasure to... What does it give me great pleasure to do?
Present me with the check. Thanks. It's made out to cash. I'll just pop down to accounts before they shut.
Oh, there's no time for that. The boat leaves in half an hour.
But I thought it was having its bottom painted.
It is. So I bought another one.
I'll take charge of that, Miss Willett.
Come along, dear. This is going to be a maiden voyage.
You can say that again. Look out for a packing case, Mark. Are you being served, sir? I'm Humphreys, and I'm pleased. Are you being served, sir? What would you like to see? If you'd like some swimming trunks, we've got them plain or spotty. We've also got some see-through that really tan your beach wear. Oh, these a day. There's plenty around the back. And if you'd like to pick a flash, then try a plastic match. I'm Humphreys, and I'm pleased.